Hello, good morning. Welcome to Joy News Desk. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlime. Coming up this morning, your integrity will be established. That's according to President Akufo-Addo as he accepts Sanitation Minister's resignation. We'll probe into those comments by the President and also find out whether Cecilia Dapa's resignation exonerates her from any wrongdoing. Also this morning, beginning August, all babies born in Ghana would be issued with Ghana card numbers as well as their birth certificate identification numbers.
The work has been completed and the full test was done yesterday. And I'm happy to say that the first baby with a Ghana card number was issued yesterday.
We have more as he announces that the first Ghana card for a baby has been issued. Plus, farmers in Kari and Gorogo in the Talensi district of the Upper East region are calling on government to hold contractors back to fix their one village, one dam. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're coming to you live also on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Join News on TV. My personal handle is @Danana Aisha. Please stay for details. President Akufo-Addo is expected to appoint a new sanitation minister as a replacement for Cecilia Dapa. This follows the resignation of the latter hours when news broke that her house help had stolen cash worth over $1 million, which she had stashed in her Abilingbe residence. In his acceptance comments to the former sanitation minister, the president said he believes the integrity of Madame Cecilia Dapa will be established. While anti-corruption campaigners have since described the comments as feeding into the perception that the president is a clearing agent for his appointees perceived to be engaged in corrupt acts, particularly at a time when the public servant in question is yet to face any legal institution or body for investigations. In addition, Cecilia Dapa has resigned and has assured her preparedness to avail herself for any public inquiry. Here on News Desk, we'll ask, does this put the matter to rest? To what extent does the president's comment influence any future probe into the saga? Professor Bafo Ajimendria is former UN advisor on governance. He joins us with more. Prof, I'm grateful for your time. Let me first find out from you, does her resignation put the matter to rest?
This incident evokes all kinds of sentiments regarding the way our resources have been managed over the years by government. And this particular case, I think, is a fine opportunity, in my humble view, for government, for the president in particular, to highlight the need for public officers to put up the best conduct when they are in office. And I think the resignation the right thing. The minister took the right step, and I personally like the idea and commend her for offering to cooperate fully with agencies that may be investigating this particular case. So I think we have a long way to go for her to establish her credibility, to regain her integrity, and then that will put the matter to rest. But until the investigations are concluded, I don't think this is putting it to rest at all.
Of the president's comments that he believes that her integrity will be proven?
I think that's a bit premature, again, my humble view. Because you see, when a case is under investigation, as I think should be, besides the court proceeding with the complaint of the loss of the money, I think these are cases where, if I were the president, I would be a little bit more careful. The president was right in commending her for the job she's done for the government and for the nation as a whole. Because truly, Madame Cecilia Dapa has been a worthy public servant. There's no doubt at all in my mind. But when a case of this nature emerges, it's important for the processes to take place in my mind. But when a case of this nature emerges, it's important for the processes to take place. Because look, there's no evidence so far that it's a stolen money. There's no evidence so far that it is a laundered money. We don't have any evidence. All we know is that he sent, and I'm not making this point to say he's guilty, not at all, but just for her to regain her integrity. If these processes take place, she will be able to regain that. That's why I think it was premature for the president to make a conclusive statement that he's confident that her integrity will be restored. We haven't gone through the process yet, and that for me was a little bit unfortunate.
Sorry. Will people be right if they say the president is a clearing agent for his appointees who are suspected to be corrupt?
Frankly, I don't know about that. People can make their own comment. I will not make that comment. But what I can say is that the president seems to be consistent in apparently denying any wrongdoing of his appointees. That seems to be consistent. Because for me, this would have been a wonderful opportunity to stand tall by taking a certain stand. While commending her for her great services to the nation, it could be an opportunity for the president to reiterate his position on this whole notion of corruption and thievery and all. Not saying the lady is guilty, not at all. We don't know that. But for the president not to take that stand, to be a little bit more aggressive in making a bold statement on the need for public officials to conduct themselves well, I think he misses the boat on that. All right. So as I say, it's not that Madame Dapa. Look, this woman has worked for many years. I know that personally. And before he got into this government, he ran a business. Her husband understands he's also a business person. But the whole idea of a public official keeping that amount in the house is what is causing this to happen. Maybe in the end, when the proper processes are done, he will emerge victorious in terms of finding nothing against her. And I think that's what those of us who know her pray for. Nonetheless, if it is found out that he breached certain rules and all, then sanctions might be imposed. If you're a leader, you got to be bold in taking certain decisions that reinforce the kind of image you want to present to your people. That's why I think people are saying he's a clearinghouse. I don't believe so. But I can say that he's been very consistent in not damning any appointee who allegedly may have committed some kind of offense. And that's what my problem with him is.
Picture then does her conduct and that of the president paint as far as good governance is concerned?
You see, if you take this country, the present conditions of the country into account, how some people have lost their money investing in government-owned banks, how the economy is kind of grounding down and people we have experienced all these kind of things. If I'm in government, I'll be very careful about these things, about money, its usage, and its storage. Okay? Because the reason why people are up in arms, and I believe many may believe that the man is a very decent woman. I know as I keep saying. So probably it's a matter of indiscretion on her part and her husband's part who have stored that money in the house. Probably confidence in the banking system is dropping, so people want to hold their money. There are all kinds of possible reasons. And in fact, one can even argue that traditionally, and I know he's from Asante, people like to keep money, but nonetheless, when you're a public official, your behavior might be distinctively different from a private person. If a certain private businessman had $10 million in the house, he stole it, and he came out, I don't think the uproar will be as great as we are having it right now. Okay? And I think that's where our public officials are missing. They are missing something. They forget that even if you're a public official and you're a millionaire before becoming a public official, immediately you take the oath to serve the nation, everything changes. So that's why, if you remember, when Dr. Kosin Diom decided to get into public office, he announced publicly that he was divorcing himself from his business. So that there will be no iota of a conflict of interest. That is the way to do. So rich people can go into government, but certain measures are taken to separate your news role from your own role. So I guess the point I'm making is that even if the Madame Cecilia Dapa money is legitimate, he had it, before even getting into government. The fact is that his present position expected her to behave better in terms of how he's managing his own private affairs.
Prof. Bafajimandu, I'm grateful for your time. He's former UN advisor on governance. Meanwhile, MP for Tamale Central, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, says President Akufo-Addo's comment seeking to clear former sanitation minister Cecilia Dapa is unfortunate and does not signal a true effort at fighting corruption. President Akufo-Addo, in accepting the resignation of minister, indicated his strong confidence in the minister that she will be exonerated of any wrongdoing. Speaking to Joy News, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed argued that the president was already seeking to clear the minister even before an investigation. Let's get more from Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante, who has joined us. Kweku, Murtala Mohammed is concerned that so many more ministers may be hoarding money in their homes.
In fact, he has very strong words. President Akufo-Addo, who he accused of being a clearing agent, he says the president should wait for proper investigation to happen into these allegations that have been made against the minister. In fact, he says that despite the minister's allegation or claims that there are consistencies in the reports that have been put out so far, the minister has not proven any contrary figures to this effect. He says that it is the belief of the minority that the president is only seeking to do what he normally do when there's corruption allegation against his ministers, to clear them. He's also alleging, for instance, that if you see the amount of money involved that has been said to have been stolen from Madame Cecilia Dapa, it would mean that more ministers are even hoarding more cash, because these are money they gain from corrupt or illicit proceedings, for which reason they cannot lodge in a bank. He says that contrary to the government's claim, and almost always calling on Ghanaians to actually not hoard the foreign currency, especially the dollar, his understanding is that a lot more ministers are doing so. And in fact, he says that the Public Accounts Committee must take some keen interest in this and look in.
Well, Kweku Asante is a Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. Kweku, if you can hear me, we know that a Public Accounts Committee is sitting this morning. Has this issue come up, and what else can you report from there? Well, Kweku Asante, we know that the Public Accounts Committee is sitting. Has this issue come up?
So the minister's ministry is expected to.
Right. So there's a terrible connection with the network. Definitely, there's more we'll be bringing you from Parliament in our subsequent bulletins. Move on to other stories. Some Irish youth of Asokore Mampong in Kumasi have vandalized Asawase police station following the alleged killing of a young man by police Sunday evening. The youth claimed 32-year-old Silaiha Talifo, who was arrested in a police swoop in the area, was manhandled by the police, leading to his death. Louver blades of windows and benches at the station were destroyed by the youth, who pelted stones and other materials at the station. Nanaya Ojima joins us with details. Nanaya, what more can you tell us about the attack by the youth on the police station in Asawase? Nanaya, what more can you report from Asawase?
Yes, Asa. So information that we got last night is that a section of youth from the Afghan community visited the Asawase police station to protest the alleged killing of their colleague by the police. According to them, the colleague was arrested in a police swoop at Asokore Mampong, and we understand that the youth group are claiming that the police manhandled at Asokore Mampong, and we understand that the youth group are claiming that the police manhandled the police station, and it took intervention of a police patrol team to get to the station and ensure that calm is restored. We learned that some of the policemen who were in the police, some family members of the deceased, and we learned that they are trying to get the body of the deceased for burial. Since they are Muslims, immediately something like of this nature happens, they try to, within the shortest possible time, find a burial place for the deceased. So police, from our investigation, have commenced their investigation into the matter, and in due time we're expecting that police will issue a press statement explaining what went down at the Afwas police station.
And now, Jima, with that update from Asawase, we have our eyes on this matter. Definitely will bring you more as and when we get updates from there. Now, beginning August, all babies born in Ghana will be issued with Ghana card numbers as well as their birth certificate identification numbers. That's a revelation by Vice President Dr. Bawumia. This follows the completion of the integration of the database of the Ghana Health Service, the Births and Deaths Registry, and the National Identification Authority, leading to the first baby in Ghana being issued with the Ghana card number. Speaking at the 75th Speech and Prize Giving Day of the Ghana National College in Cape Coast, Dr. Bawumia revealed that nearly 90% of the population now have their tax identification numbers, and the nation is on course in digitalizing the economy.
Speaking at the 75th anniversary of the school, the Vice President indicated that government was working deeply to ensure that all facets of the Ghanaian economy is digitalized. He says Ghana's economic transformation is inextricably linked with the digitalization of the economy.
When we came into office, only 4% of the population had tax identification numbers. We said, make the Ghana card the tax identification number, and now we have 85% of the population with tax identification numbers. I am very happy to announce here, and I think this is the first time because it just happened yesterday, we wanted to make sure we will be able to issue Ghana card numbers to children when they are born, right? And we have therefore integrated the databases of the National Identification Authority with the Births and Deaths Registry and the Ghana Health Service. The work has been completed, and the full test was done yesterday, and I'm happy to say that the first baby with a Ghana card number was issued yesterday. So you are entering into a world from next month, all babies born in Ghana, once they take them to weigh in, they will be issued the Ghana card number, and also they will also get the birth certificate.
Let's get down to the rest of our stories. The Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, says it will urgently review its investments to assure maximum productivity. Members of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament have been questioning leadership of the trust on some of the investment decisions they make, which have not yielded profits to pay contributors. Speaking to journalists, Director General of SNIT, Dr. John Ofori-Tinkran, explained that the trust is currently reviewing its investment portfolio and will always channel its resources where it can get maximum gains.
Our minister said, it's about time we look at some of the economically targeted investments that have been made in the past and have a policy that makes sure that we enter into investments which are going to give a return to the trust. So we've taken that on board, and I'm sure that over time the portfolio will be streamlined so that we don't have any of these so-called socially targeted investments that have a tendency not to perform. We've made significant progress from where we were the last time we appeared. A lot of these investments that need a bit of restructuring and cleanup, we've made a lot of progress. We actually accept the admonition from the chairman that the funds that come to us are pensioners, are contributory funds, where people are hoping that they get put into good use so that will be ready to pay their pensions. And we've taken that in good order, and that is exactly what we are committed to do, and we are going to do that.
Dr. Temkran also revealed that government's domestic debt exchange program has not affected the trust in any way that will prevent it from honoring its obligations to pensioners.
With respect to the DDEP, let me address that first. I think the good news there for pension funds, not only for SNET, but for pension funds in general, is that the government exempted us. So for those of us who hold government bonds, we haven't suffered any losses in respect of haircuts or anything like that. Yes, SNET as an investment, as part of our investments, we do invest in other companies who are exposed to the DDEP, especially the banks. So that is an indirect effect there. But it is not something that is material that would prevent us from honoring our obligations. We are committed to make sure that we are making good investments. And I think I want to assure contributors and pensioners that, as much as one cannot predict what the investment landscape is going to be like, we make sure that we are putting the necessary checks and balances in place to manage our risk and to make sure that on a risk-adjusted basis, we post good returns for the contributor.
In the Upper East region, farmers in Kari and Gurugo in the Talense district are calling on government to hold contractors back to fix their One Village, One Dam. They say the dams are too important to be abandoned in their current state. They want the basing of the dams deepened, the embankment walls firmed up, and the area of the dam widened. Jojo Kobna has more in the Jury News Hotline documentary, Testy Dams.
We are not happy. We can't farm. Our land is just bare. We would have been farming during Christmas. You must repair the dam for us. We had no idea the dam would be constructed like this. We thought they would do a good job. We farm on this land we gave away for the dam, and we were excited because we hope it will help us. They came here to help us by constructing the dam so that we can farm all year round and make money. But the dam dries up so fast, you will not even recognize the site as a dam. I planted in the first year, and the water dried up, so my plants died.
The farmers say they will not count it as a loss if the government brings back contractors to reconstruct the dam. Some pledged to support the government to clinch to power if the dams are properly constructed.
I pray the contractor comes back to the site to construct it the way we want. If our dams are well constructed, we will support you always. We are waiting for the rain before we plant. Without rain, we can't plant. Where is the water that we will use to farm during the dry season?
This part of the story is called Waiting for Rain. The One Village, One Dam policy was meant to put an end to rain-fed agriculture. The government hoped that, just as people in Burkina Faso farmed all year round, and even exported tomatoes to Ghana, people in the northern region would be able to do the same. Unfortunately, the people of Gorogo farm only during the rainy season. It is the main reason why the assemblyman for Gorogo, Roland Basama, is refusing to call the project a dam. And his reason is?
Actually, we don't call this one a dam. This is a dugout.
Well, the closure of the Bwepe shea nut factory in the Savannah region is said to be affecting shea business in the area where the product known as the Northern Cocoa is largely found. The $10 million factory joint venture between the Produce Buying Company Limited and Messias LDS Macanas Equipmentos Industries Limited of Brazil was established to process shea nuts into shea butter, shea oil, among others, for export to Brazil. But the factory has been closed for the past 4 years, pushing a lot of people into the market, and its effect is affecting their livelihood.
The factory, now outgrown with weeds, was once a vibrant site which boomed with activities. The place is now very quiet, with only the sound of chirping birds and the movement of animals. The only visible human you will see at the factory is the security guard, who is to ensure the machines are protected. The factory that once bought shea from the people in the area now sits in the bushes idling. The assemblyman for Old Bupe electoral area, Esuwini Williams, said share they picked the previous years are sitting uncollected, making the people poorer each day.
When PVC was in progress, there's nothing like coming to me for support. My people were getting what they wanted, because their duty is to pick, and they will come and buy. Money, food, everything was just in abundance. Now, you get to my village and see. People pick down China since last year. No one stepped there to pick them.
The 5 regions of the north, which are largely known as the poor regions of Ghana, the factory was to turn things around considering the global demand for shea butter. But that hope is dashed. Yakubu Fatima, who picked shea, said they are forced to sell at very low prices, or you may have to process it for home consumption. With this stress that you go through, the only benefit is when you use it to make shea butter for the family. But if you want to sell it, your profit is just marginal. What they do is they just come and buy at cheap prices. Madam Idisa Aramata buys shea from the villages and resells. She said in the past she would present it to the factory and take her money instantly. But currently she has to travel several kilometers to Tamale and even sell it at cheaper prices. In the past, when I go around the villages and buy, I go to the factory and they pay me instantly. But now I have to travel to the Tamale market and sell, and the buyers will buy it at very cheap price. At the Abu market, shea nut sellers want government to pay more attention to the produce because of its important value around the globe.
The price have gone down completely, and yet there is such struggle in getting the nuts. Now the value of the shea is even more than the cocoa. With shea nuts, you can get oil, use it for soap, pomade, making of chocolate, among others. Therefore, these uses are many, yet the price has gone down completely. Therefore, we are calling on government to intervene.
The closure of the factory is not only affecting people working in the share value chain, but also the youth of Bupe who were largely employed at the factory. Abdullah Baki, assemblyman for the Bupe electoral area, wants government to intervene.
And to revive the company so that their youth in that particular in Savannah region will get something doing, because government made a pledge of giving every district a factory. Unfortunately, we were already having an existing factory in Yapekusego constituency. So if the government were even to give another factory, it was going to be a plus.
For the millions of people in the share value chain, what they are asking is that government pay attention and revamp the factory to create jobs and income for the teeming unemployed youth in the area. For Joy News, Martina Bugri reporting.
Joy News Impact Makers Award winner for the Bono region, Jefferson Kwesi Agbotro, says the future of the country depends on how children are empowered to identify the prospect in the life choices they make. Speaking during a child empowerment program for selected basic school students in Sunyai, organized by the Friends of Health Association, Ms. Agbotro said the project would help build the confidence of the children to sustain the development of the nation. Precious Semevo has more.
The future of every nation depends on the choices of the younger generation.
Your future is in your own hands. You can protect that future. You can hold that future by studying very hard.
Friends of Health Association, FOHA, led by Joy News Impact Makers Award winner for the Bono region, Jefferson Kwesi Agbotro, is helping to change the narrative by engaging basic school students in the Sunyani municipality to build their confidence in identifying prospects in their life choices. Students from the Norbert Educational Complex at Yaoima and Assemblies of God schools in Sunyani were exposed to the causes and effects of drug abuse and teenage pregnancies, mentorship, career guidance, and menstrual hygiene education, among others.
We are telling them to ensure that they do not become victims of teenage pregnancy, victims of drug abuse, they do not become victims of child marriage. And when we have these young ones going to school, it means that they are going to become productive, they are going to work, and their dependency ratio or unemployment rate by extension in years to come is going to reduce. So I would say motivating and empowering them that is possible. The future is full of possibility, and they just have to stay focused until they get there to make greater impact in their generation.
Some of the teachers said the empowerment drive deserve commendations.
I would like to acknowledge him for his boldness, also his know-how about how children should position themselves in doing things. Ghana is turning to a country where youths find themselves in a situation whereby they don't know what to do. For him to take upon himself to organize such a thing, I think he should be applauded, even more than this.
FOHA hopes to empower over 2,000 children, a project Mr. Agbotro said requires the support of stakeholders to help children make the right choices today to impact their future and the country tomorrow.
We need to go to the hinterland and the hard-to-reach areas, and then we need transport to carry volunteers there. And then we also need some, the menstrual part, we also need some item to motivate the case. So definitely we are calling on all these stakeholders. The media, Joy News is applauded for that, for what it is doing in making sure that these impact stories are heard across the country and beyond the borders of Ghana. The future of the country depends on these young ones we are reaching out to, because the product of what we are seeing now will determine the sustainability of the country in terms of our development. So we believe that if we can equip these young ones, if we can motivate and encourage them, that is the future of our nation.
Some of the students had this to say.
It's good for them to continue to empower the students.
We should make sure that we don't get addicted to drugs, and we should learn and study hard so that we can help our country, Ghana.
When you're a lady, you have to be careful. And be careful of men who are dangerous. so that you not get pregnant as you're a teenager.
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyai.
Auto mechanics in Ghana have been engaging in poor handling of used engine oil, popularly called dirty oil, which contains heavy metals. Improper disposal of used engine oil can lead to heavy metals finding their way into soil, surface water and groundwater. Scientists fear exposure to dirty oil poses long-term risk to their health. Lava FM's Chrissy Deborah has been exploring this topic.
At a section of the Swami magazine enclave in the Ashanti region of Ghana, known as Bawumia, auto mechanic Clement Zuma drains used engine oil. With the oil at the brim, Clement can't move it without getting his fingers soiled. The oil is responsible for his stained palms. Clement, who came here a decade ago, has been eating with these hands, sometimes washed, sometimes left to chaperone his meals. Though Christopher would like to don long sleeves to work to limit skin contact with both dirt and oil, he hasn't been spared the discomfort of dirty oil on his skin.
I won't say for one photo. Come when I'm not doing Mukwa, Nasa, Odomo, Ekan Nasa, and Kodia, Yanasa, what says as a horse, a wood do, with the Nankasangasa.
Engine oil is a type of lubricant used in automobiles to reduce friction, heat, and wear among mechanical parts that are in contact. These oils are chiefly petroleum-based, or synthetic oils with some additives for improved performance. As a result of its continuous use, the oils become contaminated and therefore must be replaced with fresh engine oil, as the used engine oil is no longer functional. Waste oil has been found to contain lead, zinc, arsenic, chromium, cadmium and sulfur. These metals have been found to be harmful to the body. The major organs can be in serious danger when exposed to these metals. Professor Fred Boadu is with the Duke University.
First, it can cause cancer. 2, it can cause hypertension. 3, it can cause miscarriages in pregnant women. 4, it causes erectile dysfunction in men, and it's very, very, very potent in that aspect. That is well scientifically proven that can cause erectile dysfunction. And 2, also it causes diminished learning abilities in children.
Improper disposal of waste can lead to heavy metals finding their way into soil, surface water and groundwater. Unfortunately, pouring used oil on the ground is commonplace, a practice thought to strengthen the soil. As part of efforts to identify and address some public health concerns in Africa, the Civil Engineering Department of Duke University in the United States of America have partnered the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Ghana to understand these practices in order to help the auto mechanics at Swami magazine to deal with them. Professor Fred Boadu, who is leading the team, has previously researched the presence of these heavy metals in the blood of the auto mechanics, where heavy levels of these metals were detected.
Duke University has a very good program, what we call the BAS connection, where they allow people to do research in various areas. So I did have a grant for BAS connection, and I came down to look at the heavy metal level contents in the auto mechanics. So we took their fingernails, toenails and hair, and we analyzed for these metals. And we did find out that, depending on the number of years that you work as a mechanic, you have higher metals in your system. So those at younger, smaller years of working here had lower metal levels, and those with higher years of working, like over 12 years, have very high levels of metals in them. So that was where the whole thing started, that we thought that the metals has a lot to do with the retention in their system. In addition, we also measure the blood pressure, and we realized that the higher the metal level content in your system, the higher the blood pressure measurement. So that prompted us to come and do more of health education for the mechanics.
Okay, the students are happy with the interaction with the auto mechanics.
And one thing that I've noticed is that I think a lot of them have actually known to some extent that there are some problems that can be caused by the motor oil and not wearing protective equipment, but I feel like we're going one step further and helping them further understand the effects that can be caused by this motor oil and the heavy metals. For example, I think a lot of them don't know about exactly all of the problems that can be caused, such as cancer and liver damage.
On the Joy News channel. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Let's take a break. When we return, there's business.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no, we are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The Electricity Company of Ghana, in a bid to guarantee robust and reliable power distribution network, is expected to train over 3,000 certified electrical contractors who work for the company. The training, which currently focuses on effective earthing system, also has other modules targeted at equipping these contractors to ensure safe distribution. Director of ECG Training School in Tema, Engineer Ahino Usufie, speaking with Joy Business, said the training is crucial. Here's more.
Considered crucial in ensuring safety around any electrical installation or gadgets. The earthing caused by the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, is expected to introduce these contractors who have been trained in batches to the latest technology and know-how in designing and construction of a reliable distribution network. According to Director of ECG Training School in Tema, Engineer Ahin Osufriye, by ensuring safety, workers of ECG and contractors do not end up killing themselves, damage any equipment, or cause any destruction. He says this type of training could be organized once a year, but there are others done every 2 or 3 years and refreshers as and when it becomes necessary.
It's very critical because they are part of our workforce. Most of our work
are executed by the third-party contractors. And if they have to deliver to our standards, they have to be trained on what the best practice and what the standards are. So giving them the training will give the assurance that they do a good job, and that will ensure that our network also work properly. If they are not trained, we'll give them work. They do work that will not meet our standards, and that will impact on our network. So basically, giving them the competencies that we needed to ensure that they deliver to requirements.
Lead facilitator and general manager of ECG's Energy Consulting and Telco Business Directorate, Dr. George Edufo, says the modular program aims to train the contractors to deliver effective power distribution system for ECG. Dr. Edufo explained that there is system earthing done to protect the power system and equipment earthing to protect gadgets used in homes.
If the earthing is not there and you happen to be in contact with a gadget, you can be electrocuted. So earthing is very key. Now what we are doing here is to equip them with the necessary skill to install a very effective earthing. I'll give you an example. We have, if you visit electrical installation and then the installation is not properly earthed, in event of faults, if you happen to be within the premises, you can be killed from what we call a step voltage.
Now, the Korea International Cooperation Agency says it will invest $9 million to support the Ghanaian economy. The agency says it is targeting various sectors that will have direct impact on livelihoods as well as contribute largely to economic growth. According to Senior Deputy Country Director Oh Seong-ming, his company is looking at expanding the agric and educational sectors. He spoke to Joy Business at the Korean Knowledge Sharing Seminar at the University of Ghana.
Until early 1970, Korea and Ghana, we had a similar economy and GDP per capita. For now, Ghana GDP per capita is $2,300. Korea is about $35,000. So we try to find like a region and how we leverage the Koreans' experience to Ghana by sharing our partnership. Our partnership, the Republic of Korea, the government of the Republic of Korea, through the Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA, we made an agreement last year with the University of Ghana. So we will conduct the $9 million the next 5 years. So today is very remarkable day for launching our new start with the whole University of Ghana faculty and then the students. There are several components we will support. So first of all, we are supporting the Republic of Ghana, the government. So we will spend the equipment, the ICT equipment, about $1.5 million and about $4.5 million we will spend for the construction, 4 stories, the 2,500 square meter building, and then $2.2 million we will spend for the startup incubation program.
All right, and that's it for business. The news continues after this break. Please stay tuned.
For crystal clear and thrilling podcasts and live shows, download and listen to us on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, MyJoy Online, Amazon services like Echo, Amazon Music, and Audible, Stitcher, Adom Online, Overcast, and Pandora. Take note of everything. Sign up for the multimedia digital platforms now to stay updated.
Welcome back to the rest of our stories. More people are resorting to trekking as Agunan-Kwanta-Takoradi Highway has become impassable. The road, which has deteriorated over the years without proper maintenance, is causing long trailers to break down frequently on it, resulting in the build-up of huge vehicular traffic on that stretch. My colleague Samuel Kojo-Brace is monitoring things for us there. He joins us via Zoom with some live updates. Kojo-Brace, how dangerous and deteriorated is this stretch?
Well, I think it's beyond description. The road has really deteriorated to the point that it will take a massive construction to get the road back on track and all back to the state where the vehicles will have a smooth, drive on it. Now, as we speak, there are two portions of this road that have been blocked, and it takes some smart driving for smaller cars to bypass it because two long trailer vehicles have locked up at St. Mary's on the stretch when you're getting to Apawa. When you are able to cross it, there are also two long trailer vehicles that have also blocked the road at Eusejo. So when you cross this one, you get to Eusejo and you are not able to pass. I've met people who say they've gotten close to Eusejo, they want to get to Aguna, but because they are not able to cross the huge traffic, they have to return to Takoradi. Now, here with one man who's been walking from Takoradi to this point, he says he's going to Apawa. Chief, how is that? I'm fine, thank you. Why did you choose to walk? Because the road is blocked. The road is blocked. Yeah. That is I'm walking from Takoradi to Apawa. How many minutes have you been walking? By 30 minutes now. Well, I thought so. He had to resort to trekking, and I've seen a lot of people who are walking as well, because if you don't walk, you'll be stuck in traffic. Some said they've been stuck in traffic for 2 hours. Some say they've been stuck in traffic for an hour. And everybody and his or her story, it's quite a hectic situation here. If you want to move from Takoradi to Agunan-Kwanta, it may take you not less than 4 hours for you to cross because of the way the traffic is. I've had people tell me they had to walk from Bokro to Apawa, which is about, it will take you no less than 1 hour, 30 minutes walking to get there. But that's how the situation is. If you don't walk, it will be difficult for you to cross with your vehicle. So the asking is for government to take a real look at this, because day in, day out, there are huge mineral resources that are hauled on this road. And they cannot fathom why such an important road is left to deteriorate to the level where vehicles have to park on it, get stuck in traffic for hours, losing man hours. One businessman called me this morning and said his workers, as at 10 a.m., had not got into the office. So just imagine the hours they're losing in traffic, Aisha.
Samuel Kojo-Brace on that stretch, bringing us updates on how deteriorated that stretch has become. And that's how we wrap up the bulletin this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. You can log on to myjournalline.com. Over there, you'll find stories and updates of all the developing stories. One of them, NCA kickstarts digital audio broadcasting trial in Accra and Kumasi in August. You will find a number of the stories, or top stories, on myjournalline.com. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. See you again at 12.